guys, welcome back. I am here with two of my friends, Rory and Kelly, and all of us are creative writing majors at Agnes Scott College. So today, that's what we're going to be talking about. So the first thing you guys should know is that not every college has a creative writing major. Agnes Scott has either English or creative writing. You can choose, but most colleges just have English.
And at other colleges, it's often a mixture of the two. You take creative writing and literature classes.
Yep.
But here you can separate it out into two separate majors.
Yes. I've gone to two separate liberal arts colleges, and at my former one, they actually split the English department into three different categories. It was for literature, the literature track, the creative writing track, and then the journalism track. And here at Agnes, it's either creative writing track or it's the literature track. You have to specifically look at the college you're thinking of applying to and see if you want to go into creative writing, you have to actively look at the academic page and the English page to figure out if they have a separate track for creative writing or straight up English.
And specifically for Agnes Scott, if you go into the creative writing major, it breaks down even more. For us, it's mainly broken down into poetry, fiction, nonfiction, and there's a drama section.
That's steadily building up. Of course, with a small liberal arts college, you would have the advantage of having a relatively close-knit group of peers that you can work with when you start workshopping in the English creative writing degree.
And of course, when we mean workshopping, we mean turning in all of your work, your poetry, your fiction, your nonfiction, whatever, and having the class discuss it and critique it and give you feedback while you're present.
Yeah.
So not just written feedback, but verbal, communicative feedback.
And when you partake in a workshop, you are usually in the cone of silence. Would that mean you usually don't talk while other people discuss and critique your work?
Yeah. Workshopping is a huge part of the creative writing major and the creative writing process.
Yeah, it's really helpful to just hear other people's perspectives without conversing with them, because if you talk to them, then they get the idea that's in your head, so they may miss something that they would have noticed if you hadn't talked to them before. So it's really important that you stay quiet throughout the whole process, and if you really need to respond, just write it down, and then usually a professor will let you respond after everyone's done.
Yeah. You can really see what is and isn't working in what you write and what you meant to get across.
Yeah.
You can see the bridge between the two.
Because sometimes it's not always the case that the thing that you picture in your head is going to come across on the page. And so you need that different perspective from as many people as you can.
And the great thing about workshop classes is that you can take them as many times as you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
really
if you really like fiction, you can take fiction workshop 3 times
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
When I was breaking down the creative writing major into the categories, you don't have to solely pick that one.
Right.
They actually recommend that you take more than one field, like take fiction and poetry and at least a couple of different subcategories of creative writing.
I actually think that's required.
It's a requirement here at Agnes, and actually a lot of other colleges that have a creative writing track. Here at Agnes, it's a requirement that you take at least 2 different genres.
Yeah. And it'll really help you in your other writing, having the experience of writing in these different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm mainly a poet, but taking prose has been incredibly helpful in making me understand like plots and developments more, because I would focus a lot on like my own experiences and how I wanted to get across what I was saying. But taking fiction classes in particular really helped me understand that everyone's going to be reading my work differently.
Yeah.
I come from the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm primarily fiction, prose, and I wound up taking workshop classes in both poetry and nonfiction, and it really does help to polish your work and develop your own voice, no matter what genre is your main genre, your main focus.
The difference with me is that I don't put enough imagery into my poetry. I like explaining things. I like
Don't tell.
Yeah.
Show, don't
even
tell.
even in fiction, you need to show, don't tell. But I have a problem with telling
You'll
a lot.
get so sick of hearing
You're
that.
gonna
but
get
it's
so sick of
important.
it, but it is
Yeah.
important. It
So
really is.
important.